That's a good idea.
Alexa.
That's a lot of pizza for just one man.
Alexa, just do it. Stop judging me, just do it.
As you wish.
Thanks, Alexa. You're my best friend.
I wanted to quit for so long, but I didn't know where to start.
I was afraid of what people would think, but then I found the right support to start my recovery journey. 1 in 14 Americans reports experiencing a substance use disorder, a treatable medical condition. Treatment can take many forms, so there are a variety of options to explore and find the one that works best for you. Recovery from drug addiction is possible.
Paid for by the CDC, sponsored by Nebraska DHHS, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
As an 18-year-old, I let my mistakes kind of take over my life. I was 0.5 credits away from completing high school, and I didn't do it.
10 years later, at age 28, Jackie finished her high school diploma.
When I found out that I was pregnant, I know that I had to do something for myself if I wanted to make her a better person and provide a better life for her. My family never stopped pushing for me to be better because they knew what I could become and who I could become as a person. My support team is amazing. The educational director, my sister, and even my 7-year-old daughter has just been more than the support that I could ask for. I've been given an opportunity, and I'm just thankful for it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Hi, this is Pastor Tom. Did you know there's a place kids can seek out help when they're away from home and something goes wrong? They find themselves in a difficult spot or even a dangerous situation. Maybe another child is bullying them or a stranger is following them. Perhaps on a date and things just go bad. In Lincoln, here's where they can find help. It's called Safe Place. Safe Place is a national program for children taking place in thousands of cities across the United States. The People Seeding Mission is sponsoring this program in our community and has set up a number of businesses, fire stations, schools, and nonprofits around the city to become safe locations where kids can seek out help. They just need to look for the big yellow sign that says Safe Place on it. Then go inside and ask for help. We will be quickly connected to them and ensure they make it back home or to whatever resources are needed. If you'd like to find out more about Safe Place and ways in which you can get involved, just go to pcmlincoln.org. Remember, when we all do a little, we change a lot.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. Live from the heart of Lincoln, America. Welcome to Talkin Tens with your host, Nebraska gymnast Kinsey Davis on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hey y'all, welcome to 93.7 The Ticket. I'm Kinsey Davis, and I'm here with Emma Simpton, my teammate, who is a sophomore from Dallas, Texas. And Emma and I go way back. We've known each other since before we even committed here. So we kind of were camp girls and went through the recruiting process together. So yes, this is Emma Simpton, and this is Talkin Tens that you're tuning into. So thank you so much to all our listeners. And if you want to call in, the Starter Hyman text line is 402-464-5685.
Yeah, and you guys have been great so far. So definitely feel free to chime in here. Like you said, these guys, how far back do you guys go?
A long time.
Literally like 2017.
Yeah.
Oh, geez. Okay,
Camp.
so you guys have known each other for a while.
Gymnastics camp.
Yeah.
Long time.
Okay, I'll let you lead where you want to start then, because I feel like you can go anywhere with this.
Yeah, I don't know. I just thought that was a good way to bring her in. I don't know. I remember us just being little tiny tots in high school as like freshmen. And I don't know. I'm very excited to have her on the show today. And we've been competing for a couple weekends now. So we were going to recap our last meet for those of y'all listening. We're very excited to talk about our meet against Illinois and what we have upcoming in future weeks. And yeah, I just wanted to put the spotlight on Emma Simpton because she just did stellar at the Illinois meet and deserves to be talked about. And yeah, I'm very excited to kind of allow her to take us through that. But first, I figure we could get to know her a little bit better. So Emma, I mentioned you're from Dallas, Texas. Could you just say maybe when you started gymnastics and just a little bit about life pre-Nebraska and pre-college?
Yeah. So I was born in Houston, Texas, and then moved to Austin and then San Antonio, and now we live in Dallas. So kind of just all over Texas. I started gymnastics in San Antonio and then moved to Metroplex in Dallas. And then kind of stayed there the rest of my gymnastics career and throughout senior year, throughout the recruiting process and all of that. So, yeah.
Awesome. Okay, so you are a sophomore, as I mentioned. So last year you got a little bit of bar and slightly beam experience. She is definitely a bar and beamer naturally, just very tall, has that elegant flow, but has been training all around since coming here to Nebraska. But last year she competed bars for us the whole season pretty much, right?
Yes.
So that's something that her and I have in common. We have been in the bar lineup together, so we kind of practice with one another and compete. But this year she's really broken out into beam, and I guess want to talk about that a little bit. So last year you did exhibition beam once or twice.
Yes.
And you trained it and trained it. I think this year you added the triple series for the first time. Is that right?
Yes, I did spend most of the summer kind of learning that new series just to kind of shorten my routine and take out less of the deductions and create like just kind of minimal beam routine type thing and
Yeah.
create like something that I could just, I mean, I have 4 skills in my beam routine now. So
Yeah.
it's kind of just like minimizing those deductions and thinking smarter, not harder type thing. So,
Yeah.
triple series is new, and then the dismount is new. So, kind of worked that throughout the summer. So,
Yeah, so with that, mentioning that, I think that that really became an asset for Emma. Just kind of switching the composition of her routine a little bit, I think is what allowed her to kind of break out this year compared to last year. But let's just start with, I don't know, the start of season. As you just said, you trained the new skills over summer. How are you feeling confidence wise, I guess, throughout the fall and leading into season compared to last year in Beam? Did you feel an obvious difference, like this routine was going to be more attainable for you, or was it still touch and go?
I definitely feel a lot more confident in this routine. I feel like that does come from like the minimal skills that I do. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, okay, I can get up and I like have full confidence that the skills that I'm gonna do, I can do. And then the fact that I don't have that much to do, like also helps with that confidence. And I don't know, I like training beam and competing beam and bars too and floor. So I just like being out there and being like, I feel like my confidence is growing on beam. Like that kind of side of beam is always like hard because you're on a 4-inch surface. Like
Yeah.
it is scary, but I feel like my confidence on beam definitely has like grown throughout this summer and like preseason.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's awesome. I can totally relate to that because with my beam routine, I did the same thing. Leap, triple series, full
Yep.
turn, dismount, which is
Yeah.
why after my series at all the meets is when I would get so confident and start
Mhm.
talking up there on the beam because I knew I just needed to turn and get off the beam.
Yep.
So I totally understand with your, I guess for lack of better words, just get on, do your thing, and get off
Yeah.
faster.
Was
So
that
yeah.
sorry, I cut you off.
No, go for it.
Was that something you said during the summer you really wanted to work on that? Was that your idea that this season I'm going to be working more on beams, or did the coaches tell you, or how'd you come to that point?
I definitely wanted to change my beam routine in some way just because I knew that if I wanted to like contribute or kind of get that option, then that whole like minimizing the deductions is what college gymnastics is about. And
Mhm.
so I knew that if I got the triple series and if I kind of just took out the side aerial and took out the round off 1.5 dismount, that kind of were always just deductions, then that would help a lot. And so me and the coaches had our end of year meeting during all of that stuff. Kind of talked about goals for the summer and
Mhm.
just kind of moved into it and then started working it right away, really.
Okay, so you kind
Yeah.
of had it in your head too, and the
Yeah, I
coaches
wanted to
just
do
kind
it.
of cemented it, and then
Yes.
it seems like it's working out for you. So
Yeah.
I'll let you throw it back to Kinsey. I was just curious.
Yeah, so we're just getting started, but her debut for Beam was
Mhm.
our second meet, which was away at George Washington. And she was one, if you remember, of the 3 who tied for the event title.
Mhm.
And so the first meet, she was not up there competing Beam. So this first time for her was at an away meet in a new setting, new environment, and she went up there lead off, right? Or
George Washington
second at
was, I
that
went second, yeah, that
second
one.
at that meet. So still front of the line, which is not an
Yeah.
easy role to do to kind of get the ball rolling
Mhm.
for the lineup, and ended up tying with two of our teammates with probably, I guess,
Sophia.
your first event title
Yeah.
of Beam.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So
And you
how did
guys would
that
get the win.
Yeah, we did. We got the win. So how
Yes.
did that feel? And the score that flashed was a 9875. And just tell me, like, I don't know, a little bit about your warm-ups, because this was your first time up there. You seemed very calm and cool, but we all just wanted it so bad for you. And you went up there and just delivered just normal, like in practice. So just take us through that first time for you.
Yeah, you mentioned the whole, like, just wanting it so bad, and I feel like that's something that lifted me through, like, through the air, that just, like, got me through it because I just wanted it so bad, and I knew that the opportunity was there, and I took it and ran with it, and, um, just kind of felt confident because I had to, and I knew that that was what's gonna, like, get me the best outcome of that routine, and
Yeah.
so being confident was definitely, like, something that helped throughout that beam routine and that beam, like, warm up and rotation.
Yeah. So I remember, I'm pretty sure that you warmed up really smooth as well.
Mhm.
So when it came to warm ups, did you feel like already confident, or did you kind of have to start with like fake it till you make it? Because you kind of implied like you didn't have a choice but to be
Right.
confident, because that's kind of just how the situation arose, and for you to kind of grab that opportunity, like you said. So were you a little nervous and you had to hide it, or were you full send like, no, I got this?
Definitely a little nervous. Definitely had to fake it till I made it, but, I feel like as the warm-ups kind of got going and as I was, like, just taking my first couple of turns and I was like, "Oh, yeah, I got this," like, I could just feel, like, that confidence building already, and I didn't even compete yet, so by the time I competed, Heather was looking at me and she was like, shaking my arms like, "You got this," type
Yeah.
thing, and I looked over at my team and they were all like, "You got this," and I could tell they wanted it for me so bad too, and I think
Yeah.
that really just carried me through, like, that routine, and
Yeah.
even nothing like, some of it wasn't perfect, but it just felt,
Your
like, so
fight was
good.
there
Yeah,
too.
like, I just wanted to be out there so bad that I think that just helped so much.
Yeah, I love the way you describe that, just, like, carried you through the routine.
Yeah.
That's, like, I don't know, a very sweet way to include your team as well, which is such just a pivotal, aspect of you being up there. But, okay, so that meet, you also exhibitioned on bars, is that correct?
Yes, I did. I went for
Okay.
yeah.
So she exhibitioned on bars, and then, which means, for those of you who don't know, the 6 in the lineup go first, and exhibition is if you're basically just interchangeable with anyone in that lineup, and
Okay.
they go 7th. So in that particular position, your score does not necessarily count for the team, but it's more kind of for the practice of competing, and it's just as serious as if you were 1 spot before that or
Right.
3 before that. So she did that, and so that was a great time. She did great. George Washington, we took a win, we went home. Okay, so pink meat. Now you were in the lineup for bars, is that right?
Yes.
And in the lineup for beam again.
Yes. And I
And
went first on
and
beam
she
that
did
time.
lead off.
Ugh.
So this was her first meet, and she was in both lineups, and she hit both her routines.
Yes.
And that was just a really special moment too, kind of for her to just break out and be in both those lineups, and did very well again on beam, and you were lead off, and that was an
Yeah.
excellent routine. I
That
remember
was
that
good. Yeah,
with
that was my
every
better
bone in
routine.
my body. So now tell me how did that feel compared to the other meet in home territory in Devaney? Did it feel different? Like, were your parents at that meet or the other one? Like, was there anything that stuck out to you, I guess, being lead off? Did that scare you more? Like, was being back home? Like, just take me through that.
Me and Asia always joke about how we told Heather one time that we like to go first. So now she puts us like at the beginning of the line, but we like it. And so I think that some people that are like, I love going at the end. I love being at the end. But me and Asia, for some reason, love to go first. So I was like, oh, yes, I get to go first. Like, this is the time. Like, I'm going first. And second is just right there. So I'm always fine with that too. But I was fine going first. And I feel like that built my confidence that I had been going first, like a couple of the inner squads and stuff like that too, like
Yeah.
the practice meets. Um, So, but being at home, being at the Vandy, that was awesome. I felt like I was able to kind of settle in, being like even just the second time being out there on beam, but I was
On our own equipment.
yeah on
That's
our
another thing
equipment.
too.
Like we had practiced couple days, a couple weeks ago, but on that equipment, and so I feel like just kind of being home and being on that equipment, it really made me more confident and made that routine better than like the one at George Washington already. And even though it didn't score like the same, but it was like I felt more confident. So it was still good.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So actually like being the leadoff.
I do. I don't mind it. I can do it. So
She's not like,
I'm not like,
it.
oh my gosh, I love it. But I'm not like, oh, if I go first, like I will fall. Like some people are like, just I hate going first. But I'm like, I would love to go first because I'm already warm.
Mm-hmm.
That's my thing. I like to be warm when
And
I
ready
do
to
gymnastics.
go. I'll tell
Yeah.
you what a privilege it is for me to go last on bars. But once that warm up is done, I'm ready to do it right away.
I
Like
know.
I'm ready.
Like,
Let's go. My grips
go.
are good.
That makes
Yeah.
sense. If you are in the back, you get in the back for that lineup. Do you guys get super fidgety, or how do you guys work
little,
through that?
Definitely. I like to use these like little hand warmer things.
Okay,
on
I
my
imagine
hands.
you want to
She
stay
does.
warm.
I don't know, something about staying warm. I'll put my jacket on and I'll try and, I mean, lately just like kind of mosey around, walk around a little bit. But like, I don't like to like get too like anxious because that just doesn't help.
Something
but-
funny, like on a lighter note, is I never know what she's thinking. Like her face is the same always. And you can read me like an open book.
Yeah.
I feel like I look like a ghost when I'm nervous, but she just seems composed always. But it is funny because she wears her like winter jacket that was issued to us like from the athletic department, and has these hand warmers, and you shake them to get them warm and holds them. And at gym, when we're on bars, we'll have like a manager make us a heating pack, and we'll bring it to bars and we'll put our toes on it. So we are cold people.
I
Clearly.
feel like I'm in Antarctica. As soon as I get off the bar for warm up, I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to be warm for like competing because
I was gonna say, it sounds like you're dressing for snow removal, getting the hand warmers out, the winter coat.
I'm from Texas. This is not.
This is not it.
Yeah, I need to be prepared.
Well, you can't read her either. You've known her since 2017.
No,
so that
I
says something
can't.
you probably be pretty good at poker then.
Probably.
But how much time do we have?
We still got about 5 or 10 minutes, either or.
Perfect. I was just gonna say about that exact thing. Just you asked how like we deal with it, and I just think that she's just so good at just existing, and I'm pacing, or I'm like singing, or I'm like trying to do something to distract myself. But yeah, what was your question about just how do we like?
Yeah, I was just wondering because knowing me, if I was in the back, my personality, you'd see my knee bouncing or something. I'd be very fidgety.
Yeah.
So I was curious just how you guys get through that, because it's like you can be fidgety, but when your time's up, you better be ready.
Yeah.
So I was just talking about this today at practice. I am the last one to go on bars, and I am slowly figuring it out each meet. I think the first meet or two, I didn't know what to do at the time, and I just aimlessly pace around, which maybe is not bad for some people, but it gets old fast when like there's 5 people in front of you.
Yes.
So recently I've started to watch like the first 2 people, which is Sophia and Genesis, a lot more like with attention on them, which of course I watch everybody, but sometimes I don't.
Yeah,
like
when you're up, you're really trying to focus on what.
So I try to like stand on the side and actually watch their full routine through before I start like isolating myself a bit. But I have been trying to like sing a little bit and just like talk to myself. I literally will be over there like, okay, you do this all the time. You've done this routine for this many years, blah, blah, blah. Like I'm having a full conversation. So that's what I try to do. But Simp is just like with her hand warmers. So how do you like?
I don't know. I also try and like
George Washington when you were on 7th on bars.
Yeah.
Like maybe
I also like. Well, if I'm 7th, if I'm later in the lineup, I try and cheer for the people in front of me. This happened on floor 2 this past weekend, but I like cheer because that also keeps me warm. So like I cheer and I do it how I do it in practice. Like I try and kind of keep it the same as practice.
Yeah.
Like do what I do in practice, but
Yeah. So
I didn't realize you guys are cold people. Huh?
yes, I'm
That's
freezing
what-
right
that's
now.
what I'm getting
Actually,
at.
are you cold? It's
A little
actually
bit.
cold right here. I'm
It
like
is
shivering.
a little chillier than, but this room gets stuffy, so I
Yeah.
we also got to keep the air going.
It's also like 5 degrees outside.
Yeah.
So
It's
but
miserable.
it is gonna warm up, is it not? Isn't it supposed to like
20. It's gonna be 20 tomorrow.
Oh, good.
hooray.
Yes.
Hooray.
I mean, today the high was 14. I
Oh.
was putting some ice melt down on the on one of the driveways because it was super slick, and I was like, "Oh, I'll put some ice melt down in the morning." And I came back out this afternoon. It did nothing. That's how cold it is. The ice
see,
melt was
it's
barely doing
freezing.
anything.
I actually have no idea what that is. So, like, I've never heard that. I know what ice melt is, but that is not like something that is ever used like in vocabulary or anything.
Yeah,
like
literally.
ever.
I
But
know. Nebraska's like a
different.
well, it's a tundra first of all,
Yeah.
but it's also
Yeah.
just an actual different universe.
Yeah.
You got to be ready for it all. Your closet contains having Monday through Friday. You got your winter and you got your crop top all right there for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
Then you got guys
honestly.
like Nuri who just wears shorts every day, and he's like,
Right.
"I give up. I'm not even going to try to predict the
I
weather."
feel like that's just a guy thing. Like I feel like
Yeah.
Guys,
see that.
This is going to sound really lame because in high school, me and my friend, we always walked home because we lived in town. It wasn't super long walks. So after school,
Yeah.
we'd always walk home. When we got to freezing temperatures, we'd call it winter conditioning. To get used to the cold, we'd walk home in shorts.
oh
And
my
it's
gosh.
just like it was so dumb. And then I'd always tell my mom, like, "What are you doing? Winter conditioning?" And I was like, as you grow older, you're like, "Yeah, that was pretty dumb.
Yeah.
I didn't need to do
or
that."
even that your little brains like even came up with that concept.
Oh,
yeah.
Like just that you thought to do that. But yeah, we're
it's
cold
Nebraska.
people, so entertaining ourselves before we go definitely can be strategic. But I'm very excited to talk about Emma's floor debut in the next segment and talk about this last meet. So stay tuned and keep watching and catch us in the next segment.
Hey guys, this is Lindsay Teal from Nebraska Golf Team. Imagine golfing the best courses in the world. St. Andrews, Pebble Beach, Southern Hills, the best of the best. You can play those courses and more without ever leaving the city of Lincoln at Double Eagle Golf. Double Eagle has the city's best golf simulators, 5 high-quality bays that track ball speed, launch angle, club speed, spin rate, and more to give you the most accurate gameplay. Check it out for yourself year-round. Double Eagle Golf, just 5 minutes from downtown at the Kinetic Sports Complex on West O Street.
Nebraska State Veterans Homes are here to serve veterans, their spouses, surviving spouses, and Gold Star parents. Join your fellow veterans and their families at one of our homes in Bellevue, Kearney, Norfolk, or Scottsbluff. With a sliding scale to determine your financial contribution, an excellent clinical team, and plenty of fun activities, our homes are the perfect retirement choice. Learn more at veterans.nebraska.gov/homes. Sponsored by the Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station. Here to serve veterans, their spouses, surviving spouses, and Gold Star parents. Join your fellow veterans and their families at one of our homes in Bellevue, Kearney, Norfolk, or Scottsbluff. With a sliding scale to determine your financial contribution, an excellent clinical team, and plenty of fun activities, our homes are the perfect retirement choice. Learn more at veterans.nebraska.gov/homes. Sponsored by the Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
The captain, Vershawn Jackson.
One of the baddest corners to put the pads on, Kenny Wilhite. Like I told Riley, when he told me he was going to keep me on his staff, I said, "Hey, can I visit with you for a minute?" I said, "Hey, people in this state a little upset because nobody's been into the local schools." I said, "You went on record saying that you're going to take care of home first. You might want to get in these schools." And we were in the office, and I said, "Look outside that window." I said, "If you draw a circle 500 miles around this place, that's the foundation of the University of Nebraska. You better get in these schools." I said, "If you don't, you ain't going to be here long."
1 in 3 adults has prediabetes. 1 in 3. That means it could be you, your football buddy, your football buddy, or you, your best man, your worst man, you, your dog walker, your cat jogger. While 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes, with early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. Take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org. That's doihaveprediabetes.org.
Wait, did they just say 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes? That's 33.33333% of adults. That means it could be me, my boss, or my boss's boss, or me, my favorite sister, or my other sister. That's 7 members of my 21-person romantic book club. Wait, the 1 in 3 could be me, my karaoke partner Carol, or my karaoke enemy Jeff. I'm going to take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Brought to you by the Ad Council and its pre-diabetes awareness partners.
Hi, this is Pastor Tom. Did you know there's a place kids can seek out help when they're away from home and something goes wrong? They find themselves in a difficult spot or even a dangerous situation. Maybe another child is bullying them or a stranger is following them. Perhaps on a date and things just go bad. In Lincoln, here's where they can find help. It's called Safe Place. Safe Place is a national program for children taking place in thousands of cities across the United States. The People Seeding Mission is sponsoring this program in our community and has set up a number of businesses, fire stations, schools, and nonprofits around the city to become safe locations where kids can seek out help. They just need to look for the big yellow sign that says Safe Place on it. Then go inside and ask for help. We will be quickly connected to them and ensure they make it back home or to whatever resources are needed. If you'd like to find out more about Safe Place and ways in which you can get involved, just go to pcmlincoln.org. Remember, when we all do a little, we change a lot.
This message is for Shauna, my mom, who just finished her high school diploma. I wanted to say I'm so proud of you for finishing school. You taught me it's never too late to achieve your dreams. I hope to make you as proud as you have made me.
When you graduate, they graduate. Finish your high school diploma for you and for them. Visit finishyourdiploma.org to find free and supportive adult education centers near you. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Hi, Sean Callahan here of HuskerOnline.com, inviting you to join us here on 93.7 The Ticket every Saturday morning now in our new time. We're on from 8 to 9 with the weekly Husker Online radio show. We'll give you the latest in recruiting. We'll talk about what's going on with both football, basketball, and we'll probably share a few stories from the inside. It's every Saturday morning right here on 93.7 The Ticket. It's the Husker Online radio show from 8 to 9 a.m.
Talkin Tens with your host, Nebraska gymnast Kinsey Davis on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hey y'all, welcome back to 93.7 The Ticket. I'm Kinsey Davis, and this is Talkin Tens. I'm here today with my guest, Emma Simpton. She's a sophomore, if you didn't catch our last segment, and we are just kind of touching base with all of her recent new, performances and season highs and career highs, and we'll be talking about what our team is looking forward to in the future, so going to be a good one, so stay tuned.
So I do got to ask, do you guys I'm surprised, are hand warmers, you guys use, is that just a you thing, or is that a lot of people?
I feel I asked for them in particular.
Okay, so they don't just have them on hand?
No, not usually. Sometimes, but I definitely make sure that I pack them in my suitcase.
Okay, I was just wondering. I was like, is that just a gymnast thing? I've just never heard that
I
you guys
never
have
heard
hand
of that
warmers.
before I met her or came here, but Clara uses them too, I think, right?
I started using it, I think senior year after COVID or something like that, and I couldn't stop. So now
it's true. She packs them. She's prepared.
Yeah.
So
that's hilarious.
That's pretty funny. But yes, we did just get back yesterday from Illinois, and we competed on Saturday, where we went home with I think 7 season highs so far. So this is our 4th meet. So that's awesome that we're still improving. And
number 19, Illinois too. I didn't realize we're ranked 19.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, this says number 19, and then I'm sure you guys will get into it. But then event next, the home meet, Iowa, they're number 16. Ranked.
Yeah, Iowa's a good team, so that's going to be a big meet. But yeah, Illinois was good. Yeah, so we started on bars, and I don't know, feel free to jump in or take it away. But we did have an error first up, which was not easy to see because it was our leadoff, but we had to kind of quickly recover from that. And I think that our bar crew handled that really well, and we situated ourselves and we hit all our routines. We didn't ever fall or come off the bar. But you were in the middle of the lineup this time. So again, you were in the lineup at the home meet, but again, this was an away meet. So and you had a good routine, and I don't know, how were you feeling?
With that error at the beginning, it's always a little bit more difficult to kind of get into that mindset of just letting that go type thing. And so just doing our job. We always talk about that at practice, just kind of doing our job. We wouldn't do it any different if someone fell before us, or like we still have to do our routine.
Mhm.
And so kind of just focusing on our gymnastics. And I feel like, yeah, the rest of the lineup did a good job pulling it back together. And we also focused a lot on handstands and dismount sticks this past week. And a lot of us were definitely going for those. And the numbers showed there's always room for improvement, but that was definitely better for this
Yeah.
bar lineup group.
Yeah, I definitely agree. So we really went after it, I guess you could say. We're still not quite, achieving every detail we're getting after, but
Mhm.
at least we're kind of being brave enough to try, and it's still kind of somewhat early in the season, so it's time to start polishing, really. So at least we're able to kind of see that and work on it. So yeah, I guess. So then you went in the middle of the lineup. We worked our way down. I finished. What did you get? A 9.7.
I got a 9.7, and
So
you got
I got a 9.875. That was a season
Nice.
high for me. So
Oh,
that
nice.
was cool to see because, yeah,
Season high.
So
What's your career high?
my career high is a 9.975.
Oh.
But yeah, this was a
Yeah.
9.875, but it was a baby step in the right direction
Yeah,
for me.
absolutely.
I started out really strong the first 2 meets, and then last home meet, I kind of took a small step backwards in my routine. I still did a good one, but the
Yeah.
score didn't really show.
I know.
So this week, I was kind of searching for that redemption, I guess, and
Right.
able to score a little bit higher. So all I can hope for is that next meet it's 1% better. That's something we talk about, every day in practice too. Just think about 1% better. So hopefully each meet it's a new season high. That should
Yeah.
really be good.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we handled bars well, and then we went to vault. Our vault rotation was well. We again, I think honestly, I think they were pro Illinois because we were there. The scoring was fair. It was not unfair, but
Still kind of low a little.
a little low.
Tiny bit.
I think Emma Spence could have scored a little higher. She starts from a 10.0, and she only scored 0.25 higher than me, who my vault is like half a tenth less starting value. So I don't know. Basically, a judge gave her and I the same score, which would have been a 9.85, and I think that she was a little underscored for the vault she was throwing because she was the only one throwing a 10.0 vault in our lineup. So I guess you could just see some of that there. But yeah, our vault lineup I think went pretty well. Yeah, I stuck my vault. I got a
Yes.
9.85.
How do you
That was pretty
guys
good.
deal with that when you get a score that and maybe you just don't deal with it at all, that you felt like you got maybe a little slighted or they didn't catch it all, or maybe they saw
Robbed.
something?
Yeah.
That,
I feel definitely frustrated, but then again, we talk about controlling the controllables and all of that, and it's nothing we can control, but definitely frustrating.
is it hard to move on, or is it like it is what it is?
I mean,
It can
it can be
be.
hard to move
Mhm.
on, especially if you definitely like if it's really low.
If it's like
something like
egregious.
that. Yeah, then it's kind of hard to let that go. And that takes effort too, to definitely like put that in the back of your head and be
Mhm.
able to move on. That
Mhm.
takes practice and like thinking about like doing that as far as just like kind of moving on, going to the next event and just giving it your all in that instead of, I mean, there's nothing we can change about that. So
Mhm. That's a good word, effort. Also, like
yeah.
maturity or
Yeah.
just,
Mhm.
but yeah, it definitely takes effort because your instinct is to kind of want to be like, that's not fair. Like,
Yeah.
Go up to the table and be like, "Hey, did
Yeah.
you watch?"
Yeah,
Right,
yeah.
exactly.
But you have to kind of pick your battles and you
Yeah.
can't control that. So wasting your energy on that is,
Yeah.
just counterproductive, makes things stagnant. So, but overall, vault was good. So it wasn't too big of a deal.
Mhm.
Better than the last meet,
Mhm.
I would say. I think
Yeah.
we got scored a lot more fairly. Yeah, so I feel like we did pretty well. And then we went to floor where Emma Simpson's gonna shine here. There was a last minute. She's been training floor since the fall.
Yes.
So I mentioned that she's beautiful bar and beam lines, and she is,
Mhm.
but she had trained, everything, which I mentioned, and really worked hard this year on floor and her stamina and never stopped training since August. And just it's funny how like the stars align like that and just things happen to where you kind of have to swoop in. But so how did that come to be? Because we had a last minute change, as I mentioned. One girl decided to step out. So you were going to warm up floor and the general
Yes.
warm up. And I was under the impression it was kind of like for practice and they might put 5 people up. But all along, I
Yes.
think they should have put 6 people up.
Mhm.
But even so, you were still like being compared to another option that could have gone in the spot that she ended up going in. So there was a lot of factors here.
Yes, I was going into the meet to kind of do warm up and to get that feel of like competition, being on a different floor because it was an away meet, and just kind of do that warm up with everybody, the time, the everything, and then
The chaos.
hit. Just kidding. But then our coach pulled me aside, and because one of the girls was hurting in warm up and didn't know if she was going to be able to go or not, and then me and another girl were warmed up and ready to go, like if we needed to.
Yeah.
Anyway, she ended up competing, so that was good, and scoring really well. But they told me during the actual competition, so not the warm up, during the actual competition.
So the touch.
Yeah, the touch.
4-minute
before,
touch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the 4-minute touch that I will warm up and then compete, and then so I actually ended up warming up, doing my middle pass, my second pass, which is my double back second, and my 1.5 front lay first. But in the competition, I ended up switching them and doing my double tuck first and my 1.5 front lay second. But they told me that I was going to switch it after I completely warmed up. So after the 4-minute touch was over, they told me
my
that I'm going to compete, and that when I do compete,
It's in
I
the
will be
opposite
switching my
order.
passes.
Oh
So
my
I was like,
gosh.
oh, perfect. So, which
So-
I feel more confident. Like that routine to me, I mean, that routine to me is easier.
Makes
It's
more
not-
feasible sense.
Yeah, Heather was saying that routine will start a little bit lower, like it will have a starting value of a little bit lower, but it's gonna be clean. So I was like, okay,
And safe too.
yeah,
Safety
and
is
safe. And
important
I
too.
was like fully like fine with that because I had done connection passes and everything all throughout senior year last pass too. So I was like, okay, that's fine. But just kind of the way that it all came together at the very end, and I was like, okay, we're doing this. And then I kind of was, when everyone else was going, I was like cheering because I went last on floor, and I
Yeah, she was
typically like to
last.
go first. But anyways, I was last. So I was staying warm, had my hand warmers and had my jacket and everything. And I was cheering for people. And then once it got to like closer to my turn, I would just like start to clap to cheer to not use like too much of my energy. Cause I was like, I don't know.
Floor is one of those where like, bars, I think I'm a little more scared to like lose my focus or kind of like cheer too loud and then have my heart race and then I have to calm down.
Right.
But I think that floor,
having your heart rate high.
yeah,
is
you kind of
better.
need to be like in that mode. So then when
Get
your
the
music
adrenaline
starts,
going.
you can like just do it instead of like going from 0 to
Having
60.
to do it. Yeah, I agree. Definitely having the adrenaline is more important on floor and vault, like those events, than beam and bars where you're trying to just like settle down and
Yeah.
type thing. But yeah, I was excited to do it. I was excited to go out there and do my floor routine.
Yeah,
So,
she was ready. She looked amazing in warm up, but I just think it's hilarious too. And it just shows good being able to rebound and that adaptability and flexibility. And I don't know, just that you were okay with that.
Yes.
And I guess you had to be again, like what were you going to do? Just like,
Say
we're
no?
just kind
Yeah.
of dealt those cards sometimes,
Right.
but just having that positive mindset is so important. And I don't know, it sets a great example for everyone too, that, this is what coach says to do and it makes sense safety wise and, clean. It's
Yeah,
clean.
yeah.
And I don't know, just kind of getting it done. And she was prepared to do it too. So we were all so thrilled. That's probably another example, like
Yes.
at George Washington, how we felt on beam is how we all felt on floor.
Yes, it was the same thing all over. It felt amazing.
Before I had like pixie sticks and I'm like, do you want something? Do you want a back rub? Do you want a shoulder rub? Do you want a pixie stick?
Yeah.
And she's like, I think I'm good.
Yeah, I didn't know. Like I was
It's
like
just-
chilling. I don't know why though, because I don't. I
'Cause
mean,
you're
I
just
was like
chill.
fine. I was just fine with being on floor. I was more excited than anything. I feel like. I mean, there was no time to be nervous. So therefore, like I was just excited to be there and do my floor routine that I had been training
Yeah.
for so long that I was like, yeah, let's do it. Like I
Yeah.
feel confident in that routine. So
Yeah.
I was like, okay.
Let me ask you this, Kinsey,
Yeah.
since you know her.
Mhm.
You said she's a very chill person in terms of
Yeah.
her mannerisms. Have you ever seen a time where you've actually noticed she got a little rattled, whether that's sports or outside of sports?
Not that I can remember, unless you want to point one out to me. But no, also like after a mistake too.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is not the best example of me, but I remember in the arena the other day, I had like fallen on whatever, and I had to kind of get back up and finish the second half. And I
Mhm.
literally was breathing like 3 times as fast as I normally would. And I had to be like, calm down, like calm yourself
Yes.
down. And I kind of feel like in the gym, if she makes an error or a mistake, she just is relaxed and she's never super frazzled. So not that I can remember. She's always just
Which
That's
isn't
a great trait to have.
crazily how I used to be, because that took a lot
You
of
were?
well, I mean, a lot of like like the whole like just not, because we are kind of the same in the fact that we're perfectionists,
Yes,
and
absolutely.
that is what gets me sometimes because that is frustrating. But that I feel like is the only time where I'm like, when it's like not perfect.
Yeah, I guess a better way to phrase it is I can actually tell when you're like disappointed in yourself.
Right. It's
But
more,
it's
yeah,
still
disappointment in myself.
calming. Like it's still not chaos
Yeah.
or
Mhm.
frantic or frazzled. But I can kind of tell when you might be like down on yourself because you like expect more of that type of
Right.
situation, which not that that happens all the time, just like random times in the gym when you
Mhm.
kind of know your standards.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
but I can kind of tell like sometimes if you get like down,
Mhm.
but again, you still, try and make
Yeah.
eye contact with the coaches. Like she's one of those who
Yes.
very much just like is like yes and never really, reacts. She's not a super reactive person, but I know that like deep down she probably is. Or like when she goes home, maybe she is. But in the moment, she's always like pretty
Yeah.
just
So if you're in the back of the lineup and the
Mhm.
coaches come up to you and be like, "Hey, the hand warmers they're just not gonna work." Are you cool? Are you still cool?
I mean,
She'll flip her top.
no, I'll be fine because I'm gonna have to figure it out, but I'll figure it out some way or another. I'll figure it out, but
That's the other thing. She's always like solution based, which I guess
Yeah.
I would say too, but like she always just is
I'll
we'll
figure it out.
figure it out.
Yeah, it'll
Like,
be fine in some way.
Just like, yeah, that's fine. Just see a vein just across her
yeah.
forehead.
Like,
Like,
the
I
tear
like to
goes
do
down her.
it.
It's
Yeah,
fine.
I like to do things a certain way, but
Which is
if
how
I don't, then I'm like, it'll be fine. Like it. Honestly, we will live to see another day, which I feel like is a little bit different from you on the other side of that because
Yeah.
you're like, oh my gosh.
Like I
but-
planned it this
yeah, you're like,
way.
planned
I
it
wanted
way.
it this way.
Yeah, which I am too at the beginning. And then it's like, if it's not that way, then I'm like, whatever, it's probably going to be fine. But you're like, no, I planned it this way.
Yeah.
So,
But it's crazy how we are similar. We both are super perfectionists. We both
Yes.
are like, we like things particular. I
Mhm.
think like you apply yourself to the gym a lot. You get there early. You are prepared.
yeah, same with
Preparation.
you.
Like we have the same kind of like mindset.
Yeah.
But no, that is funny. It's certain things, other things like, I'll like cram my finger and I'm just like, well, I'm doing bars
Right,
anyway.
right.
Like there's certain things
No,
like
yeah.
that or what like I don't know if vault, okay, George Washington vault, my warm up, terrible. Literally I like
No, yeah,
bottomed
you
out, but I
definitely
like
are able to
actually
pull
just
it together.
didn't react at all because I just felt like I would get it done when it mattered.
Yes.
So I don't know if that's like a pressure thing and I kind of feel like I can rise to the occasion.
Yes.
Mhm.
But if it's not like all eyes on me or pressure on me, I do say that then I can become a bit dramatic when I like want something and then it's like not like that. So I don't know. It's funny.
Yeah.
It's good. Even our reactions, I mentioned like she's just not a super reactive
Right.
person. If I like nail that dismount, I am just gonna walk around and absorb that moment for 5 minutes straight and flip my hair. And you will stick a dismount in bars, and her single stick dance, as we call it, is just like this. That's all she does. Which, if you're not tuned in
Yeah.
right now, you're just listening on the radio, you're missing out because it's hilarious. But she just barely gives herself that satisfaction of doing something good.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I just I try and celebrate, and then sometimes I'm like, it should be like that all the time. That's when my perfectionist side comes in, and I'm like, oh, like I stuck it and it was good, and I'm like, well, why is it not like that all the time? So, but I'm like happy, and then I'm like, well, why can't I do it like that all the time?
Yeah,
So-
there's always like you can't ever be too
No,
satisfied
yeah.
because a thought will creep in. But
You just give your thought a 5-minute wait.
right,
yeah,
she does.
no, I really do.
Which is good. I
Yeah,
need to learn
enjoy
to
it.
you have to celebrate the little things
Yes.
because if you don't, then like you miss so many things I feel like in life, or if you don't get excited about just the stupid little things that make you feel so happy, like I am going to celebrate that for 5 minutes, even
Absolutely.
if nobody else wants to, because it makes me happy. So
Yeah.
yeah.
This is Talking Tens. I am Harrison Irons running the board. Across the table, we have host Kinsey Davis and special guest Emma Simpson as well. We are going all the way up until 9 o'clock, so be sure to stay tuned in. We got one more segment on 93.7 The Ticket, ticketfm.com. We'll be back right after this break.
I get it, slip it, cuff it, check it twice a day.
I get it, slip it, cuff it, check it in the morning and before dinner.
I get it, slip it, cuff it, check it, and share it with my doctor. Nearly 1 in 2 U.S. adults have high blood pressure. That's why it's important to self-monitor your blood pressure in 4 easy-to-remember steps. It starts with a monitor.
Now that I know my blood pressure numbers, I talked with my doctor. We're getting those numbers down.
Get it, slip it, cuff it, check it. Talk to doctor now and share it. Be next to talk to your doctor about your blood pressure numbers. Get down with your blood pressure. Self-monitoring is power. Learn more at manageyourbp.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council, the American Heart Association, and the American Medical Association. In partnership with the Office of Minority Health and Health Resources and Services Administration.
This is your captain. We are going to be experiencing some slight turbulence. Please fasten your... Oh, hold on. Just got a video of my cat.
Imagine the pilot of an airplane was as confident as you are texting and driving. Seems kind of crazy when you put it like that.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
I think it's just vapor. Vaping is safer than smoking, isn't it?
There's really not even that much nicotine in them, right?
One vape pod has as much nicotine as 1 pack of cigarettes.
My kid
knows it's dangerous. 5.4 million American kids vape, and most think it's harmless. Get your head out of the cloud. Talk to your kid about vaping. Visit talkaboutvaping.org. That's talkaboutvaping.org. Brought to you by the American Lung Association and the Ad Council.
I get it, slip it, cuff it, check it twice a day.
I get it, slip it, cuff it, check it in the morning and before dinner.
I get it, slip it, cuff it, check it, and share it with my doctor. Nearly 1 in 2 U.S. adults have high blood pressure. That's why it's important to self-monitor your blood pressure in 4 easy-to-remember steps. It starts with a monitor.
Now that I know my blood pressure numbers, I talked with my doctor. We're getting those numbers down.
Get it, slip it, cuff it, check it. Talk to doctor now and share it. Be next to talk to your doctor about your blood pressure numbers. Get down with your blood pressure. Self-monitoring is power. Learn more at manageyourbp.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council, the American Heart Association, and the American Medical Association. In partnership with the Office of Minority Health and Health Resources and Services Administration.
Early break with Sip and Jake.
Brett Maher misses 4 extra points against the Cowboys. As a special teams coach, what do you do in that situation?
First of all, you get back to routine. You don't overplay it a bunch where it's just like, think about this. But I'd like to know he always stayed on the hash, on the left hash. So all those misses came from the left hash. You can put the ball in the middle, or you can put it on the right hash. I wonder why he didn't change. If he just felt, hey, this is what I do. So that will be an interesting question for me to ask him.
Early break with Sip and Jake from 6 to 8 every weekday morning.
Hey, you got any gum?
Yeah, check my backpack.
What's this?
Oh, that's naloxone. It can reverse an opioid overdose. I decided to always keep it on me after my friend almost died. It saved his life.
I'm so sorry. That makes me want to have it with me too.
You totally should. Check the pharmacy. It was actually really easy to get, and it's easy to use.
I definitely will. Thanks.
Paid for by the CDC. Sponsored by Nebraska DHHS. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
If you're talking, they will hear you.
Why are we getting killed like this?
Kyle's not here. Got caught drinking beer in the park a couple of nights ago.
Really?
Yeah. 0 tolerance. He's out for the season.
Harsh.
Hey, he knew not to drink. We've made that clear to all of our kids, right?
No, not really.
Bill, if we don't tell them what we expect and why they shouldn't drink, how are they going to know?
Sponsored by SAMHSA and Nebraska DHHS. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Adoption of teens from foster care is a topic not enough people know about, and we're here to change that. I'm April Dinwiddie, host of the new podcast, Navigating Adoption, presented by Adopt US Kids. Each episode brings you compelling real-life adoption stories told by the families that live them with commentary from experts. Visit adoptuskids.org/podcast or subscribe to Navigating Adoption, presented by Adopt US Kids. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services Administration for Children and Families and the Ad Council.
Talkin Tens with your host, Nebraska gymnast Kinsey Davis on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hey y'all, welcome to 93.7 The Ticket. This is Talkin Tens. I'm Kinsey Davis, and currently my headphones backwards. Okay,
You're
here.
all good. I'll let you adjust your headset and I'll set the table real
Okay.
quick. This is the last segment of Talking Tens too. So if you guys want to get your comments in, Starter Heyman text line 402-464-5685. It's a great opportunity as Kinsey is working on her headset and she's got it. I think we're good to go here.
We got it. Thank you for that. Yes, this is Talkin Tens. Thank you so much for those of you who've been interactive. And we're just going to wrap up our last meet with Illinois. As we mentioned, how well of a job Emma Simpson did with her floor debut. And she ended up getting a 9.825 with all things considered, and being tossed into that with the change in the routine. She is just awesome for that. And then immediately had to go and get ready for beam, which was our last rotation at Illinois and probably our strongest one, if not our strongest rotation of all the meets for the beam workers so far. So Emma ended up getting a 9.85 on beam, another solid, steady routine from her, and seems like she really found her groove this year, which I'm so excited to see after all her hard work of changing the routine around, as we talked about a lot earlier. And yeah, she's just a steady rock for us there and just looks awesome up there. So if you want to elaborate a little bit on how the beam lineup was feeling, or how we performed, you totally can. We started with a 9.8 and only went over that. We never went below any 9.8s on beam, which was certainly our best rotation. So
Yes, I feel like we warmed up really well. I feel like kind of doing beam last was new for us this season. And we did good with that. We finished strong on that event. The people in lineup were really confident, and I feel like it definitely did build throughout the rotation and like the lineup, because we all were just kind of there for each other. And I usually can't hear a lot during my beam routine, but I heard a lot of cheering and a lot of just like confident like statements being said, and that really just helps everything and makes it a lot easier.
yeah, we definitely try to throw out some affirmations of like, look at her up there. She's so pretty. Look how good. That was so good. Things like that. And yeah, our beam lineup, I like to say they're just really sure of themselves. I think beam is tricky to compete, as she mentioned. And I don't know, they did a great job, especially last, because sometimes by the end of the meet, you can be tired or just ready to be done. And you still have to kind of stay where your feet are, which is what Heather always says, and kind of get the job done. And nobody's done until the last person salutes. So what an amazing effort from our beam lineup. And like I said, ended up being our best rotation of the meet itself, and also probably of the season, I think, because everybody hit well. So that was awesome to see.
Yeah, I suppose at this point in season 2, that's all you want, people to just continue rounding into form.
Yeah.
Because you have a big one coming up here too that I'm very excited for, because it's home as well.
Yes.
This would be one where I'd like to see the attendance like we had for your season opener.
Yes.
Yep, exactly. So we broke record for our first season opener of the season. It was the highest attendance since 2001, I believe it was.
20,000 plus, something like that, or I can't remember the number. Do you remember?
It was 4,065 of audience members, and it had been 20 years.
20 years, that's what it was.
Yeah, 20 years since we last saw that number, or less than that even. So our next meet is in a week from today, around this time actually. It is next Monday, February 6th at 8 p.m. and we're going against Iowa. And if you're a Husker fan, we all hate Iowa. So please come.
It's a red out too.
Yeah, please come support. You know, we'll have the smoke box, we'll have the lights and the intro video. It is hype. And the gymnastics meets, you know, they're continuing to increase the attendance. So I hope those who are going are realizing how much fun they are and how much of a show we put on. And they're done between an hour and a half, so they're somewhat quick, and you get to see a lot of action. So yeah, anything else?
I also am in a sorority, and they kind of made that this meet coming up is a sorority event to go to. So I'm hoping to see a lot of them
Oh, that's
kind of
cool.
come out, too, and hopefully bring some of the Greek community into it as well. I try and get send out a text or something, but I feel like, and especially since it's against Iowa, the attendance will be high, and having everyone there is always so much more fun and better to be around. So
Yeah, it's such a plus, and just having any Husker fan kind of rally around just that, competition of Nebraska and Iowa is a lot of fun. And yeah, we just feel so supported with all of the Husker fans wearing red and just wanting us to do well. So, and also very cool that you're going to kind of invite those sorority friends and kind of cross over athletes and students involved in Greek life and other clubs and stuff. So I think that it's amazing, and there's space for everyone to come. So we hope to see you there, 8 p.m., February 6th, this coming Monday. So thank you so much for watching Talking Tens. I'm Kinsey Davis. This is Emma Simpton. And go Big Red, and we'll see you on Monday in a week for our home meet. Go Big Red.